All right, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Welcome, guys. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We have a lot to get into. Brandon Brooks apparently on the trade block. Not surprising to hear. He is an aging veteran. It's one of those things that we kind of have to suspect as we're in the middle of this rebuild. Another thing that we're going to have to address is Jeffrey Lurie came out and pretty much named Jalen Hurts the starter. And there's a few things that I want to talk about on this because it coming from different angles. Look, Jeffrey Lurie does not want to make the same mistake with Jalen Hurts that he made with Carson Wentz. And at this point, thank goodness that we have Jalen Hurts on the roster, because if we didn't have Jalen Hurts on the roster, we're looking at a quarterback. And, Jeffrey Lurie came out and said, pretty much that he doesn't want a quarterback competition. He wants Jalen Hurts to have the year as the starter, and they're going to go ahead and find playmakers and surround Jalen Hurts with playmakers, and they're going to build around Jalen Hurts. And that's what I absolutely love. That's what I love to hear. That's what I absolutely love to hear. And so for Jeffrey Lurie to come out and say that, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for multiple reasons. I think it's a good thing because, one, it sounds like Howie Roseman has a watchful eye over him. And in a watchful eye, I obviously mean Jeffrey Lurie is keeping an eye on this thing more so than he probably has been in a very, very long time. And it goes back to us, it goes back to us kind of like saying Jalen Hurts absolutely deserves the year. Jalen Hurts deserves the year, and Jalen Hurts has been doing everything right. King, welcome, my man. Happy Tuesday, man. King says he said to build around Jalen Hurts, and if Howie doesn't do that, he is fired. He said that? I didn't hear that he said that he is fired. I didn't hear that part. But yeah, no, he did say build around Jalen Hurts. He did build around Jalen Hurts. And King says it looks like no QB at pick 6. Yeah, no, and that's the way that it should go. There shouldn't be a QB picked at pick 6. Plain and simple. There should not be a QB taken at pick 6. And if Howie Roseman decides to go against his wishes, which it wouldn't surprise me because it seems like Howie Roseman has been going against a lot of people's wishes over the last few years, then yeah, he deserves to be fired. Along with those reports, apparently it sounds like, they didn't stick to their board. They have a lot of people from the Ozzie Newsome tree in the building, and they had guys like Justin Jefferson on their Eagles draft board, and they just didn't stick to it. And that's hearsay, right? Like that's, how much of that can we say is true? I don't know. But we'll just have to see. But Brandon Brooks is on the trade block. That's exciting. The Lions decided not to tag Kenny Galladay. That's the rumor out right now. So Kenny Galladay is going to be a free agent. And is he going to be there? Are the Eagles going to be in a position where they're going to be able to sign Kenny Galladay? We'll just have to see. The one thing is this. The one thing I worry about if the Eagles go ahead and try and are able to sign a Kenny Galladay in free agency, which, it's pretty far-fetched. But at this point, it's pretty far-fetched. But would that keep them from going out and grabbing a playmaker like a Jamar Chase in the first round? Tell me what you think on that, King. I don't think it should negate them from doing that whatsoever. You know what I mean? I think that they should get Kenny Galladay I think if they can, if they were to grab Kenny Galladay, they should do it, and then you'd get Kyle Pitts with pick 6 if you can, and then just get the guy playmakers. Just do what you can. Just give him everything he needs to succeed. You know what I mean? Do everything you need. Do everything you need to succeed. And regarding that fact too, I always love listening to Maurice Jones looking at Maurice Jones-Drew's mock drafts every single season. Not because I have admiration for his opinion. I have nothing against Maurice Jones-Drew. Was a phenomenal running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But he is always off point with his mock drafts. Like Jeffrey Lurie just said they're going to build around Jalen Hurts and get him playmakers, and Maurice Jones-Drew still has us taking Mike Parsons at pick 6. It's like, what on earth are you possibly thinking that makes you think? Like, it's every year he's off point. It's kind of funny, but I'm not trying to take shots at Maurice Jones-Drew. I'm sure he's a phenomenal human being. I'm sure he's a phenomenal human being. But hey, King, if you have any trade partners in mind for Brandon Brooks, let me know. Shoot it in the live chat so we can talk about it. The Bears went ahead and tagged Allen Robinson, so that's not an option. And quite a few other things as well. What do you think about the rumor, King, that because Alex Smith was released, could the Philadelphia Eagles bring him in to back up Jalen Hurts? And how do you think that would play out? See, my thing is this: I think that Alex Smith still thinks that he can be a substantial starter in this league, and I'm not saying he can't be. I'm sure he can be, but he's not going to wow you, right? He's always been the game manager. So I don't think he's going to sign someplace where he doesn't have a substantial shot at overtaking a starting spot. You know what I mean? So I don't really see that happening. Brandon Brooks to Seahawks and DK Metcalf to the Eagles. I wish. Yeah, King. I wish too. What would that even look like? They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. But that would require Brandon Brooks a first round pick and probably something else. You know what I mean? And I think if there's any super stud that's going to get traded from Seattle this offseason, it's going to be Russell Wilson. Outside of that, I don't think that they're moving anybody. But, that goes without saying. And speaking on that too, I mean, for any of those people who doubt the validity of the Russell Wilson thing, it's Adam Schefter came out and reported it's very real. It is very real. The trade talks coming out of Seattle for Russell Wilson are very, very real. But let's go ahead and jump on the Dak Prescott deal, right? Like 4 years, $160 million, 120 guaranteed. That's insane. But Dak Prescott deserves it. As much as I hate to say it, Dak Prescott deserves every penny of the money that he just got. Without him, they fell completely in the mud. They fell face first into the mud. And with him, they were the number 1 ranked offense in the league. They have been for the last 3 years. They had that potential. Dak Prescott was on fire the first quarter of the season, was on pace for nearly 6,000 yards. And then just the tragedy that was went ahead and took him out for the season, unfortunately. So I'm glad that he got that. It was such a tragedy that he bet on himself and then got hurt and was having a phenomenal season. So I'm glad that he was able to get that money, as much as I hate to say it, but I have nothing against Dak Prescott. I have no, as an Eagles fan, I have everything in the world against the Dallas Cowboys. I have nothing against Dak Prescott. So there is things to be said about that. And over the last 3 years, he has garnered that team he has guided that team into the ability and the potential of being a top 5 offense. He has. It's just plain and simple. But a couple other free agents that we need to prioritize. I think Kenny Galladay is definitely one if we have a shot. And Malik Hooker is definitely another one. I've talked on length and I've talked to no end about Malik Hooker. And there's a few other guys. There's Cameron Sutton, cornerback out of Pittsburgh. Another one. He's a hybrid player. He can line up at safety. He can line up at cornerback. He's going to be one of those guys that you can move all around the defense. There's going to be some young, cheap guys that we can bring in to sort of revitalize the defense somewhat. So we're gonna have a shot. It's interesting, and I have nothing against Philly 500. I absolutely love Philly 500. King, you and I have talked about this before. But I think he recently put out a stream about don't sleep on us because we can probably still compete. Yeah, I don't think there's look. I don't think that there's any reason to sleep on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not really looking at it that way. It's just that I am not going to approach it as if we should be expecting to do anything this year. That's the thing. If we start getting into expectations and things like that, it's hard. It's a hard line to cross. It's a hard line to cross. I don't want this year to be about. King says, "Watch Dak get hurt again." Well, I mean, let's try and keep it civil. I don't wish injuries upon anybody, but I mean, we can always wish for the Cowboys to suck. That's fine. But no, I mean, Dak has been a reliable quarterback. That is a fair point you bring up, that usually after injury, the injury rate goes up. That is very true for any specific player. That is true. Hopefully he can keep it up for him. But we'll just have to see. But getting back to, like, I want this season to be less about us, getting back to prominence in 1 year, as opposed to let's hope for the best for Jalen Hurts. Let's look for progression in players. Let's hope that Josh Sweat gets even better. Let's hope that our draft picks are good draft picks this year. Let's hope that Jalen Reagor turns into something better than he was in his rookie season. Let's hope that Quez Watkins is better. Let's hope that John Hightower comes out of the shadows and shocks us all. Let's hope that Miles Sanders puts up his best season yet, because we know that it's in there somewhere. Let's hope that Jalen Hurts just absolutely shocks the world, because according to his offseason regimen, it looks like he's on pace to do that. You know what I mean? Like, let's hope that we get a Kyle Pitts, and let's hope that Kyle Pitts, like, blows up the NFL. Let's hope that we draft the rookie of the year. Like, that would be fucking great. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to win the NFC East this year, is basically what I'm saying. Like, I don't need it. Would it be nice? Yeah. But, like, I'm okay with looking at the team progressing. There's so many like young factors that play into this. Like, there's so much potential all across the board, and even including our coaching staff. I want to see our coaching staff get better. I want to see the entirety of the organization move in a different direction and get better. And I swear to you, like, if Hy Roseman goes against Jeffrey Lurie's wishes, then we're looking at an entirely new direction. And speaking of Philly 500, he touched on this about a month ago. That's the type of change that he wanted to see. Was, that's a big change. Getting rid of a GM, that's a big change. And that's kind of the thing that you needed to have happen. This entire thing is a big thing. Getting rid of the franchise quarterback that was drafted by the GM that everybody wants to get rid of. The head coach that ended up being a fucking tree and a puppet. They didn't get rid of the full trio, right? You can't get rid of a puzzle piece. You can't get rid of a puzzle without getting rid of all the pieces, basically. You can't get rid of everybody's apparatus of memories without getting rid of all of the memories. So And Howie Roseman just happens to be the last remaining memory of the former regime. It's that simple. It's that simple. So, I mean, there's two ways to look at it. Do I hope that he turns it around? Yes. Of course I do, because that means success for our team. But do I think he can? No. No. I think what Howie Roseman will do is I think he'll have one solid year and then he'll go back to his old ways. Just like 2017 and 2016. But I love what Daniel Jeremiah has to say about Kyle Pitts. He believes that Kyle Pitts is the second best wide receiver in the draft, even though he's a tight end. And he believes that the Eagles should absolutely be a slam dunk of a pick for the Eagles to take Kyle Pitts. Louis Riddick, on the other hand, former personnel man, came in and said that if Jamar Chase is on the board, he would fall out of his chair if the Eagles took Kyle Pitts over Jamar Chase. So, I like Louis Riddick, but it's hard to say whether or not there's a little bit of bitterness coming from Louis Riddick's end just because it was Howie Roseman who fired Louis Riddick. So, it's hard to say. I like Louis Riddick, but it's subjective. It's definitely subjective. So, there's a couple things I wanted to get into here. Jalen Hurts touched on Carson Wentz the other day. And, I think that the way that he addressed it was very mature, very mature for him. Just the way that he came and kind of came across in a way of like, yeah, I'm taking this opportunity just to, as the organization showing faith in me, to trade away Carson Wentz and they're showing their trust in me. And even though it might be something completely different than that, and I think that we know that it is that Carson Wentz did not want to be back. Carson Wentz probably was going to be the starter if he decided that he wanted to stay. But, Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, their hands were forced. Carson Wentz wanted to leave. So, but Jalen Hurts said all the right things. You know what I mean? He said all the right things. He's doing all the right things. And there's he really didn't need to say anything about it, but he did. And that's good. It's good. It's good because that's what a leader should do. A leader is supposed to address important moves made by the franchise. It's exactly what he's supposed to do. So he just continues to impress me, and I'm really excited about Jalen Hurts. But let's go ahead and move on. I want to talk about Zack Gertz as well. So Zack Gertz, those trade talks are heating up like nobody's business. And recent report comes out, and I believe it was the Philadelphia Inquirer, but I saw it on Bleacher Report, that actually top quarterbacks in the league are quietly recruiting Zack Gertz. So I just wonder who those quarterbacks are. Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it Tom Brady? Is it like Russell Wilson? You know what I mean? Wherever Russell Wilson's going to go. But I could see Tom Brady recruiting Zack Gertz. I could see that happening. Aaron Rodgers, definitely. I could see Aaron Rodgers recruiting Zack Gertz. Especially because Aaron Rodgers is close with Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz, obviously, as we all know, is pretty much like best friends with Zack Gertz. And speaking of Carson Wentz, among all others, probably is recruiting Zack Gertz to Indianapolis as well. But touching on Zack Gertz, there's a two-sided opinion to this. Zack Gertz came out and said that he would have rather be released than traded. Look, I love Zack Gertz to death, but he is starting to annoy me a little bit. Howie Roseman offered him a contract before the season started, and he declined it. And now he would rather be released than traded. Look, you can't have all of the fucking box of Cheerios, bro. Like, you can't have all of the box of fucking Cheerios. You understand? Like you gotta leave a little room. You can't take. You gotta give a little. You're gonna take a little. You gotta give a little. You understand? So, like, you can't have it all your way. And I understand why he wants to be released. He wants to choose which team he wants to go to. It's plain and simple. He doesn't want to be traded to a team that he doesn't want to go to. I completely understand. And he's not out of line for requesting that. That's perfectly fine. But, like, I mean, he's starting to sound like a bitter baby. He really is. He's starting to sound like Carson Wentz. He's starting to sound like Carson Wentz's silence is what he's starting to sound like. And that says a lot. That says a lot. He wants it all his way. He's being selfish. He's being absolutely ridiculous. And I love Zack Gertz. He's contributed a lot to this organization. I wish there was a way we could keep him, but unfortunately there's not. And now he's asking for too much. You don't want to help out. You don't like you want to be released. Okay. And you don't want to allow us to get anything back for you in return. Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately that's not happening. So we're going to get a 3rd round pick for you. So you're going to go to wherever the fuck we trade you to. Unfortunately. Love you, Zack Gertz. I appreciate all that you've done for the city, but you're going to Seattle, you're going to the Bears, you're going to the Colts, you're going wherever the fuck you're going. You're going to the Green Bay Packers to play with Aaron Rodgers. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Oh, you don't want to play for Aaron Rodgers? It's Aaron Rodgers, you fucking stubborn, selfish son of a bitch. Fuck you. It's that simple. Like, you're 30, dude. You're not Travis Kelce. You're not Travis Kelce. Get that in your head. Get it in your head. You're not Travis Kelce. You're not Darren Waller. You're not George Kittle. I'm sorry. Sorry. You're just not. In other words, King says he should go with Carson Wentz. Yeah, he should go with Carson Wentz. Unfortunately, the Colts aren't going to trade us a 3rd round pick for Zack Gertz. That's my opinion. And honestly, I don't want him to go play with Carson Wentz. I really don't. I feel like the two of them together ruined the franchise. And before you jump on me for that, Zack Gertz was fine before Carson Wentz came into the picture. And Carson Wentz seemed fine before they formed their mutual bond. And then it became two people who share the same opinion is better than one person sharing a specific opinion. You know what I mean? And it's funny to me that they're both acting in the same way. Just like Rob and Tom. Yeah, just like Rob and Tom. Unfortunately, Tom is the GOAT and Rob is a GOAT as well. And Rob and Tom don't bitch and complain. Rob and Tom don't really bitch and complain. And if Tom bitched and complained, like, Tom has a reason to bitch and complain. Carson is not Tom. And Zach is not Rob. I wish Zach were Rob. We might be talking about something different, at this point. We might not have even been getting rid of Carson Wentz. If Zack Gertz were Rob Gronkowski, it'd be a fucking whole other shindig. Be a whole other fucking shindig that we'd be talking about probably. Kyle Pitts has the and I'm not going to say potential of being Rob Gronkowski, but he has the potential of being Darren Waller, and Darren Waller's another 6'6", 250-pound tight end. You know what I mean? So there's that. And then a report just came out that the Arizona Cardinals are not tagging Hassan Reddick. So Hassan Reddick is going to free agency. So that's news, good news for us, King, because as we know, the Eagles were in trade talks with the Arizona Cardinals, Zack Gertz for Hassan Reddick, or before the trade deadline, before he got hurt. And now if the Eagles can find a way to get cap space, they can make that move for Hassan Reddick. I'd honestly rather see that than Kenny Galladay, to be completely honest with you. I'd rather see that happen than Kenny Galladay. But maybe. That's a tough one. That's a tough call. Honestly. Kenny Galladay is really a stud. It's just really about a money game, honestly. It's really about a money game. But how do you feel? How do you feel, King, now that Dak is re-signed and that entire Dallas team looks like it's going to be back? Who do you think is going to take the division? What's your take on that? Who do you think is going to take the division? I'm waiting for the Zack Gertz trade to go down. It's supposed to go down soon. All according to reports. The trade rumors regarding Zack Gertz are nothing but fucking full force fluidity. Full force fluidity, my friend. So hopefully it goes through soon. I'm hoping that it goes through by the end of the week. I think it will go through by the end of the week because we got free agency coming. Yeah, we have free agency coming, so we're gonna need to get some shit together, and they got to get these contracts renegotiated, and they got to make sure that they do that quickly. King says, to be honest, Dallas always chokes like they love to do anyway. So I'm saying the Giants will take it. Yeah, maybe. That's a good point. And plus, I honestly, for the Giants, I do have faith that Joe Judge will probably do a better job. He seems like they have a good hire. I mean, that seems like a good hire. Joe Judge is their head coach, so I'm sure he'll continue to get those guys in line. They'll have Saquon Barkley back this year, I imagine. They did just release Golden Tate, though, so I assume, they could go wide receiver in the draft. I know that there's been a lot of mocks that mock a playmaker to the Giants. Jalen Waddle, any one of the guys. So we'll just have to see. But Patrick J is back in town after his long hiatus, so hopefully we can get something into by the end of the week with the two of us together again. But King, I will be back with you later, my man. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for tuning in, my man. And this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully this trade goes down and we can see some more rumors happen before the end of the week because they are hot and heavy so far. But happy Tuesday, my friend, and stay safe and stay healthy. One love. Go Birds, baby.